And now it's time for another Board Game Brawl unboxing with Nick Minahan, sponsored by BoardGameBliss.com. Hey folks, it is time for another unboxing video. Hopefully you don't get too inundated with these in the coming weeks. There's at least 2 more unboxings I'm going to do next week. One of them I'm extremely excited about. Longtime fans probably know what I'm talking about. But today, we are talking about the newest board game from Games Workshop, which is called Deathwatch Overkill. Hopefully I got the order of those words right. And to Games Workshop's credit, they really are hitting the board gaming circuit pretty hard in the last couple of years. And I know Games Workshop does not have the best reputation. I've talked about this in previous unboxings for their games, about how they they're very litigious, and a big hubbub that happened over on Board Game Geek with them demanding that all the Space Hulk fan-made files be taken down, which caused people to flood the Space Hulk page with 1 ratings just to push the rating down as much as possible to punish Games Workshop, although I don't think they seem to care. But I totally understand the hate about Games Workshop, but I just like the fact that they are at least trying to diversify their products. They're not resuscitating the old board games that people really want, like Warhammer Quest. I mean, they do the board games through Fantasy Flight, but it's not quite the same thing. So they don't do Warhammer Quest, Necromunda, all these different older games. What's the other one? Blood Bowl. But at least they're making an effort to make more of these types of games. And, Space Hulk 4th edition, I was glad to be able to finally get a copy of that, and it's a great game. I love that. I wasn't as much of a fan of Assassinorum Execution Force, but I like what they were going for there. I just wish they had more to it. And maybe they'll do an expansion for it someday. And the last one, which I will actually be picking up later this week, has actually been out for a few months now, called a new Horus Heresy game, the Horus Heresy Betrayal at Calth. But this one, much like with that game, the Betrayal at Calth, is a 2-player game, and also like Space Hulk. And this is actually, I'm speaking of Deathwatch Overkill now, this is actually a spiritual successor to Space Hulk, in that it has the same type of theme. In Space Hulk, the Space Marines go on this derelict vessel and find that it's been overrun by Tyranids, and they have to go through the depths of the ship and try to, wipe them out. In the Deathwatch Overkill, the Space Marines lose contact with the regiment that's on this planet, or something like that, and there's evidence that they have been overtaken by the Tyranids, and that there's some weird cult-like activity going on with them as well, and you are the team that has to be sent in to wipe them out, so it's 1-on-1. So it seems really interesting. I haven't unboxed it yet. I'm just about to get to it and record that, but here are my predictions. Sprue after sprue of plastic that's going to give me stress headaches from thinking about putting it together, and probably some really cool looking boards or something to that effect. And then hopefully I can get a chance to play it as quickly as possible and give you a review, because it is quite a lot of money. I'm sure people want to know if it's actually worth it, at least according to my own opinion. So without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, so first thing is the store that I picked it up at, my local Games Workshop, slightly killed the excitement by pre-opening the box to make sure it was what it was, which I totally understand, but I leave it here anyways because I thought it was very interesting. On the side it says, very clearly, not children's products, just in case some random child should want to open the box and be forever scarred by the horrific, grim Warhammer 40k imagery we're about to see. But let's go ahead and pop it open. Here we go. There it is in all of its majesty. Now, there actually was this separate bag. I'm going to guess that that's because they left out some stands, and this was like their last-ditch effort to just throw them in there, give it to them before people start calling customer service. So, all right. So here it is, the box in all of its majesty with my glaring lights, but we can fix that by taking off the shrink wrap eventually. I never have any nails, so... Actually, I'm sure the box is glossy UV coated anyway, so it's still going to be glaring. Perhaps not as bad. Okay. So, there we go. Nah, still just as bad. Alright, so there's the box. I love this, suffer not the alien to live. I love the theatrics of the Warhammer 40k universe, the over-the-topness of it. There's the Tyranids. I mean, say this about Warhammer 40k, even if you don't like the subject matter, the artwork is just so well done. See, that's what I was talking about in my intro, where it's like some of the Tyranids sort of infect the Marines, something like that. I don't know. I don't know the history of the Tyranids as much as other people do. But here's the back of the box. Sorry about the lights, guys. let's see. That's cool. Actually, I don't need this light on necessarily. Boom. There we go. That's better, I think. Very professional. So, so that's what the game looks like. That's why, I mean, just at first glance, you can kind of look, and it looks like a spiritual successor to Space Hulk, but obviously it's a bit different. Let's go ahead and pop this puppy open. All right, so they shrink wrap the book. Come on, man. Let's get this open too. Keep you in suspense. Although I don't know how fascinating it is to see sprues, but obviously I didn't want to wait so long as to put them all together and then film this whole thing. This is really hard to get open. I'm gonna have to time lapse this. All right, there we go. Many years have passed since I started filming that. No, okay, here we go. So this is the list of all the minis. You have the Gene Stealer call to the Deathwatch kill team. Instructions on how to put them together, which was mighty nice of them, I suppose I should say. I love the names. Enoch Sorlock, Zamian Gadrael, Genzus Notorian. Awesome. In just that horrific way. It's kind of interesting that Gene Stealer Patriarch is the most normal name I've seen so far. Gene Stealer Magus. Very cool. Okay, so that's going to be required reading eventually for me. Here's the actual rule book. Typical high quality GW. There's the picture from the back of the box. There's some shenanigans. Some pleasant looking gentlemen. Okay, cool. There's the box picture. Different missions. Let's see how many missions there are. 4, 5. There are 9 missions. Eliminate the alpha threat. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert, you're going to have to kill them. Let's do the plastic maze. Let's not keep you in suspense anymore. I mean, again, it's really hard to tell because these are just sprues. But, I mean, if you don't know by now, Games Workshop, faults and all, still makes like the highest quality miniatures out there. Cool Me or Not does an excellent quality, but they're mass-produced miniatures. I mean, they don't quite have the detail. Well, Kingdom Death also has amazing miniatures. I remember the Beasts of War guys doing a review of the Phoenix model for Kingdom Death and saying that they really had never seen anything like it. That compared to it was at least as good as anything from Games Workshop, probably better. Oh yeah, this is one of the things that really pushed me over the edge towards buying this game. There's a motorcycle, goddammit. I didn't even know they still had those in the Warhammer 40k universe, but I am no expert. Oh, man, so many things you would never want to step on in the middle of the night, for sure. That's a trip to the emergency room. I know, there's always people that complain I don't show off the minis enough, but again, they're just sprues. I'll try to give more tender loving care to them in the review when I do the overview. But I'm not going to paint them, so it's not really worth their own video just to show them all assembled. But, okay, what next? Bubble wrap. Not bad. Good quality. Bases. Lots and lots of bases. And more bases. Big bases. That's probably for the motorcycle, I would imagine. Well, they're marked, right? No. Fair enough. Dice. Tiny dice. Not really tiny, but smaller than average dice. And this is a rules marker. Or a marker. Looks like, well, it actually looks like combat range. Interesting. Cool. Yeah, and I should mention, and I'm sorry I didn't mention this in the intro, this game I'm pretty sure is supposed to be usable as both a standalone board game, and you can take the minis and use them in the newest edition of, there is no new edition of Warhammer 40k. I'm thinking of Warhammer Fantasy, but you can use them in Warhammer 40k, is what I'm trying to say. So, here's some cards. Looks like event cards. Ambushes, gambits, hive consciousness. I don't know. I'm not really familiar with the rules of this game. So I'm just a schlub that buys games unseen from the rules. Sometimes. Let's see. Here's the character cards. Where are they? Okay, here we go. Here are the good guys. They have their wounded side. I think these are the good guys. It's an interesting looking fellow. Lots of bald white guys. Interesting. And Mo. And Brienne of Tarth. And here's Gene Stealer peoples. I would guess the most powerful of the Gene Stealers. I thought they were called Tyranids. Are they the same thing? I don't know. I'm gonna get nothing but crap if I'm wrong about that. They look really cool though. All right, and the boards. Okay, I did quickie research. That's right. I knew this. I had just forgotten. Gene Stealers are a subset of Tyranids. Got it. All right. Our long national nightmare is over. Let's go to the boards. Ooh, I just bent the hell out of that card. Let's open this up. Hit the camera as hard as I can in anger. Yeah, I mean, upon further looking, this is like a fraction of the content of Space Hulk. That's okay. It'd be interesting if you can combine them. I have no idea if that's possible. Here are the boards. Actually, these punch out. Oh no, they don't. I'm sorry. They have that cool embossing effect, which is really neat. All right, cool. Wait, I'll show you the other side. Boom. Very nice. Okay, and we're getting to the end. Cool, that's it. Shorter unboxing just because there's not a tremendous amount of content there, but that is essentially everything that comes in the Deathwatch Overkill board game, standalone game that you can use the minis from for Warhammer 40k. I will endeavor to put them together as quickly as I can and then play the game. So it's like 5 times the amount of work as a normal review, but that's quite all right. I'm pretty excited to try it out. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned. There's going to be some really cool unboxings in the future. Take care. Thanks for watching. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Patreon. And make sure to check out our sponsor, Board Game Bliss, where you can find an amazing selection of games from around the world. BoardGameBliss.com. Thanks for your support.